ago. And so now we're working towards ambassador. And something that I've learned along the way is that, I made this vow to myself that I would never sit at a rank for a year again. But since then I've done that and I've sat at ranks for a year. But the difference is that you can sit at a rank and not be stuck at a rank. There's a difference. And you can sit at a rank for a long time and learn and do what it takes that's necessary to grow and to continue to mold yourself as a leader and to help shape your team and to wait for those leaders that are going to come into your business. Or there's like this stuck where you're not willing to change, you're not willing to do the things that are necessary, you're not taking the action or doing the effort, and that's when you're stuck at a rank. So it's okay to sit there, it's not okay to be stuck. As long as you're like continuing to progress, you're moving forward, even if eSuite doesn't show that, okay? So because of this business, we've been able to do it, like, just our lives are completely changed because of this. Like, before we were just so broke. We were in credit card debt just to live. And my husband and I both work 65 hours a week. I didn't even know my husband when I joined this business, actually. And now because of this business, we've been able to pay off over $100,000 in debt. We've been able to build our dream home. I quit my jobs. He quit his job. So now he gets to pursue a career that he's passionate about instead of chasing a paycheck. And we've been able to give more and save more. Now we get to teach our teams to do the same thing. So it's been literally life-changing in every single way. We've met more friends than we ever have in our life that are so encouraging, and y'all know what that's like. So yeah, that's our story.
Yes, dude. Okay. And if I start to break up, I am so sorry. I am traveling, but it's inspiring. Like, it's inspiring, you guys. That's why, when Morgan and I first became friends, I was like, yes, I will hang out with you whenever, because I want to be around people that are doing the things and taking action and actually, getting it done. But I love that you put it as like, there's a difference between sitting at a rank and being stuck, or however you put that. There is a difference. I've been triple diamond now for 3 years, and most people can look at that as like, oh my gosh, I've been stuck at this rank. No, I'm growing at this rank right now. I've literally grown into a better me, a better leader, a better person. I'm learning how to, I can't wait to go presidential, and it's going to be amazing when I do. So I love how you put that. So you specifically were like, dude, let me pump your team up. When I was talking about, my team Zoom and stuff, you're like, yes, let me pump your team up. So I want to talk about checks. Like, everyone had just got paid. We got paid 2 days early, so we were paid on Friday. Can you just talk about, I see Arnisha's hands going up. So can you talk about, if you didn't like this paycheck, like, moving forward, what can we do to change that, to change your paycheck, to make it what you want it to be?
Yeah, so I think that, a lot of times whenever we see a paycheck, or we like continue to get like the same type of paychecks, like, where you're consistently like sitting around like $400 a month, or you're consistently at $2,000 a month, or whatever it is, you kind of get into this like mindset that that's like what you make, and that you forget that you write your paycheck. And that's so true with this. Like, you literally get to determine how much you want to make. If you told yourself at the beginning of this month, or even now, like, hey, I want to have a pay raise this month, you can do that. That's the cool part of this business, is that you have the ability to do that. And no other place that you can go to and get a job would you ever be able to do that. You never can just make monthly pay raises, right? But we forget that in this business, and we get so stuck in like, oh, it's just this season. We're in this season right now, and everybody's check is down. So you just start to accept that that's how it is. And you forget that you're in control of that. And so I want you to drop a 1 if you wish that your paycheck was a little bit higher this month. And I'm not saying like, oh, if you're ungrateful, put a 1. Like, we're all grateful. Like, we all made money. That's great. We're grateful. We're thankful for that. But it doesn't mean that you can't want more. You can be, what is the word? You can be like satisfied, but not content. And so that's where you want to be. Like, I would love to have made more money this last month, but I didn't. And whose fault is that? Mine. It's not the company. It's not the products. It's my fault. And so what I want to ask you, if you are somebody who complains about their paycheck, when is the last time that you enrolled a distributor? You're like, oh, last week. I enrolled a distributor last week. Okay, well, when's the last time that you completed your steps of success and you enrolled 3 in a month? When is the last time that you helped your team complete their steps to success. You're like, well, I don't have a team because I don't have a team. Nobody on my team works. So when is the last time that you enrolled a Rockstar Leader? And you're like, well, I mass enroll distributors. I enroll so many people, but none of them work. Then maybe it's the way that you are presenting the business and the opportunity on your posts. Are you making it seem like you just get to sit on your couch and make money? And that's every single post that you make is, oh, I just sit on my couch. I just made $500. So then you're going to get people who join and you tell them like, okay, let's do your training. Like, let's get to work. And they're like, whoa, work? Like, wait a second. Like, I just sat on my couch after I joined this business and like, I haven't made my money yet. So like, I'm out. Peace. That's why, is because you've painted this picture in their head that they join and make money, not that they join, work, do the effort consistently over time, compounded equals where you're at right now. You make it seem so easy that you miss the work part of this. Yes, it is simple. It is not easy. What we do isn't easy. Not everybody can do it because not everybody will choose to do it. It does take discipline because you don't have anybody telling you what to do every single day. So it is difficult. It is hard, but it's not something that anybody couldn't do. People can do it. Everyone can, but not everybody will. So that's a little side note. If you're like, well, I do enroll distributors, but none of them work. Change up the way you're talking about the business. Show the background. Don't just show the like beautiful pictures like this on Instagram all the time. Show you in a messy bun reading self-development at 6 a.m. because you woke up before your kids, and talk about how, and talk about how this business is worth you waking up early and it is a sacrifice. Talk about that, and I guarantee you're going to sign better quality distributors. So back to the distributor thing. So if you're not enrolling distributors, that's hundreds of dollars every single month that you're missing. If you're a Ruby and you're like, well, my paychecks are only $150 and I don't know why, and this company sucks and this is my fault, or this is their fault, blah, blah, blah. When is the last time you enrolled 4 distributors? Because if you enrolled 4 distributors in 1 month, your paychecks total would be $550. That's above average for a Ruby. But you're not enrolling distributors. And so then the people that are placed under you or whatever, like, you're not going to make as much off of that. They have to be personally enrolled to you. So if you're not happy with your paycheck, the very first thing I would tell you to do is go enroll distributors. And not just any distributors. Remember, we talked about how to post. Go enroll people who actually want this. And it's okay to tell people, you know what, this may not be a good fit for you. And I've told people that because I have a standard of where I want to be and who I want to enroll. And that doesn't mean I turn people away. Like, I will let anybody join. But if they're sitting there and they're saying, you know, well, I'm just like not somebody who really wants to work very hard. Like, I don't know, like, I'm going to tell them, you know what, I'm going to be honest with you. This does take work. It does take effort. And if this isn't for you right now, that is okay. But you let me know and you change your mind. But there have been times in my business, and if you're honest with yourself, I'm sure you've been there too, where you would try to talk them into wanting to work, right? Because you just wanted to get a DT. But this isn't about getting DTs. This is about changing lives. So if they don't want to change their life, do you really think that you can talk them into changing their life? No. So change your perspective and change your thought process behind signing distributors, because it's not about getting DTs. But I want you to go out there and I want you to think about how you can change the most lives. And that's by being honest, transparent, and open about what your life is. About the good, the bad, the ugly, the hard times, waking up at 6 a.m., doing your self-development, doing your affirmations, sharing those parts of your life in a really positive way, and talk about how this is life-changing, and then offer that to them. The next thing I would tell you to do, if you're like, well, I do enroll my distributors, like, I'm teaching my team to do that, whether they're enrolling or not, like, you're teaching them how, and that's kind of like up to them. Like, if they're not doing anything with it, then that's on them, but you're teaching them. And you're like, I'm enrolling my steps to success every single month, blah, blah, blah. Okay, like, that's you. And you're like, yes, like, I'm doing everything you've said so far. When's the last time that you charted? When is the last time that you pulled out a chart for your team? Like, you might have a diamond chart because you're going for diamond, but right now you're maintaining executive and you're lifetime emerald. You're maintaining executive, you have a diamond chart out, and you have 2 people on it. That's pretty defeating, right? So why don't you go and get some people on your team? You have 1 person working. Why don't you get a Ruby chart out for them? And then you're also enrolling distributors, remember? So as you enroll distributors, you're getting Ruby charts out for them. Fill 2 of those out, you're back at emerald. Fill 3 of them out, now you're at diamond for the first time. That's how you promote. I'm going to be honest with you, because I love, like, I think being transparent is huge, like, as a leader. And so my team already knows, like, they know where I fall short. So I'm not telling you this from like my high horse or like my pedestal saying like, all of you need to be doing this. It's like, no, this is what I screwed up. Like, this is what I did wrong. So learn from my mistakes and don't repeat them. Please save yourself the heartache and just hear me say the things that I've done wrong so that you don't have to experience it yourself. Back earlier this year, I just like, I mean, things fell apart in my chart. Like, put a 2 in the comments if you've ever had that happen, or maybe your charts have been perfect and no one on your team's ever quit. That's great. Congratulations. That's not me. If you've ever had like something on your chart fall apart, that was me earlier this year. And I just felt like, oh my gosh, like I was so close to ambassador, and it literally like this crumbled and then this crumbled and then this crumbled. And like, I just feel so defeated. Like, I just don't even know what to do anymore. And so I just like kept enrolling because that's where my like comfort zone is. But I stopped really leading. And I was like, well, I just like don't have like big leaders to lead. And like, I just don't have this to do. And I started making excuses for myself. I started, saying that I was too far from my rank. And so then I stopped charting. And then we went to green carpet. I know most of y'all probably were there, maybe not, but maybe you watched the live stream. And if you saw Kelly Brown, do you know who that is? Did y'all see her on stage? Anybody? So yes, Kim. Okay, so Kelly Brown did this amazing speech. She did her ambassador speech, and it was literally life-changing. It was so amazing. And she's the girl with, if you don't know who she is, okay, she's the girl with like the poofy curly hair, super cute. Like, she's a mom. She's on Sherry Lynn's team. So anyway, that's her. So she did her ambassador speech, and I was like, oh my gosh, like that was literally amazing. She was talking about all this stuff, and it was such a, okay, you've had her on a Zoom, perfect. So I wanted to get her on a Zoom, so it's actually perfect. That's what I messaged her about right after green carpet. I said, I want to get you on a Zoom. Can you do this with my team? Yada, yada. She was like, yeah, for sure. And I told her where I had been. And I said, like, I'm so excited to go ambassador, but God's really teaching me so much right now to take me to the next level. Like there's so many things that I have to learn to get to this next level. And I think that that's true, that God is going to teach you things as you continue to mold and develop as a leader that's going to take you to the next level. And a lot of times whenever our mindset gets to a certain point, then our E-suite catches up with it, right? Not the other way around. So like your E-suite is never going to exceed your self-development. So that's kind of where I was. And I was like, I'm growing as a leader, as a person, and this is great. And it's been like the worst, best, most amazing, hard, great year of my business ever. And I could talk about that literally on a whole entire like 3-hour Zoom. So I'll save you the details. But then I messaged Kelly that, right? So she said, I love that, but I need to tell you that at some point you just have to get to work. And I was like, girl, you don't even know me. You do not know me like that. And I was like a little like defensive at first. I was like, how dare she tell me that? Like, I wasn't mad at her, but I was like, oh, like I worked so hard. And like, asked my husband, like I am one of the, and I'm not bragging about myself, but I'm just saying like, I'm relentlessly consistent. Like I don't miss a day. Like I always work this business. And so whenever she told me that, I was like, I do work. But then I stopped and I was like, okay, what value can I grab from that? And then this like little voice in my head, I know it was the Lord, and he was like, hello, you have not charted since March and it's October. You ding dong. No wonder you haven't freaking promoted. Nobody on your team's promoted. Like, and I was like, I've been working. And he was like, no, you haven't. So I was like, okay, well, let me pull some charts out. So I like went and grabbed everybody that was remotely working on my team, which was a lot. Like, I mean, I do have a lot of people on my team working, but it was like my newbies. And I was like, okay, like I haven't gotten charts out for my new distributors. Shame on me. Like, I'm just being honest with you so that you don't repeat these mistakes. So I was like, just defeated, right? But I was like, I don't want to get an ambassador chart out, but I just like felt the spirit was like, just get out the Ruby charts, like get out 12 Ruby charts, like keep doing that and you'll go ambassador. Don't do it and nobody on your team's going to promote either, So I got out literally like I'm looking at them right now. Like they're everywhere, all over my office. And that month we had like 9 new Rubies and like 3 new Emeralds. And then we had like 8 people like re-rank, like re-maintain their rank. And my volume went up so much, and that was my highest paycheck in the whole entire, like, since probably June. Was in October for September. Like, it was crazy. And so charting again has literally made such a difference in my paycheck and in the, like, morale of my team, because now they're all excited because they just promoted to Ruby. And this person who's been in for forever, who hasn't been doing jack squat, just saw Sally Sue over here, who joined 30 days ago, go Ruby. And now she's like, oh, I need to get to work. Like, what have I been doing? I'm just sitting over here doing nothing when I have this opportunity. So it's just been so amazing. Like, so what I would challenge you to do is sign distributors, teach them how to do what you're doing, and get out some Ruby charts, get out some executive charts, get out some Emerald charts, get out some Diamond charts, wherever you're at. Like, chart for your team. If you're too scared, and that's okay to be scared. Like, you just can't let it paralyze you. You can have that fear, but don't let it paralyze you. And fear, people always talk about, like, being scared and having fear. It's like a bad thing, but it can either motivate you to take action or it can paralyze you. And if it motivates you to take action, then it's a good thing. So let that fear drive you to take action. And so if you're afraid to chart for your own self, like your own promotion, chart for your whole entire team. And, like, I don't care if they just started yesterday, get a Ruby chart out. I don't care if they're, lifetime diamond, but they only have 2 people working, get out a Ruby chart for them. Let them see what's possible, because for me right now, getting out an ambassador chart is so overwhelming. But if I were to get out a, whatever chart, like just team charts, diamond charts for my girls, that would be so much less overwhelming. Does that make sense? So take control of your paycheck. You get to choose how much you want to make, guys, and we forget that, and we take that for granted, and we just sit here and we don't do anything. So if you want to get a pay raise, I don't care if it's December, go out there and get a pay raise, but you have to make the decision, and it's not just like a decision that you make right now and you're like, yes, now I'm going to get a pay raise. It's a daily decision to say, I am going to wake up before my kids get up, or I am going to go to sleep way after my kids so that I can have time to work to myself, or before school, or whatever it is. So you're going to have to make those sacrifices, but I promise it's going to be worth it. So
all of the head nods, like, you can't see them because it's pitch black where I'm at, but all of the head nods, dude, all of that was such gold. And I've been doing this for 6 years, and I know, Morgan, I was talking to you about it a little bit, but I've been doing this for 6 years, and there is nothing like being like, okay, this is not about me. I had to learn that the hard way. When I was just charting myself and making it all about me, it seemed so much more defeating and hard. And when I started to make it more about the people on my team, like, okay, let's pull your chart out. I don't care if it has nothing to do with mine completely right now. Let's pull your chart. And you're right. The team morale, the momentum, the fire, the excitement, when they see people enrolling and hitting their goals and being awesome, they're like, okay, never mind. I do want this, or I want this again, or I'm ready to go back to Emerald or Diamond, whatever it was, or rank up. I love that feeling, because yes, when I pull out my presidential chart, it can be a little bit like, ooh, oh my goodness. I mean, but it's getting filled. I think it's pretty much filled, but it can be like overwhelming. And so focusing on helping other people win, there is a blessing in that blesses more than just you and them. It's a blessing, and I love doing that. So that was honestly such gold. Sorry, Joe just hit my elbow. That was gold. I could talk about that for hours. Because we all make mistakes, especially leaders. I feel like, we've gone through it. We've gone through all of it. So we get to tell you, like, it's okay. You'll be all right at the other side of it. So I love how transparent you were in that too, because we all know how big of a deal you are. And like, even Morgan, y'all, like, even Morgan, it's okay. People are going to struggle and have people stop working, and it has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. So, okay. So can you tell us, like, what do you, because I think so many people, I know there's a lot of newbies on here too. So many people think that we're like on our phones literally all day, every day, doing nothing else but just engulfed in our phone. Is that the word? So I know you're not. You travel a lot. You live your life. You get to do a lot of things. You go on date nights all the time with your husband. Like, you're very present. So what do you do what's a day in the life of Morgan look like, so that you can, and oh, by the way, back up. I love that you said your E-suite will never, what did you say? Your E-suite will never
do self-development.
Yes, there it is. That was powerful. That's so true. So tell us how you make the best and the most out of your day without being stuck and glued to your phone the whole time.
Yeah, so I think it's just the one word that I would use is intentional. Like your time's gonna go somewhere, so if you don't tell it where to go, it's gonna be spent somewhere else and someone else is gonna, use it up. So I used to just kind of go to bed whenever I wanted. Like, so I do this business full time and then I don't have kids. And a lot of you are like, oh my gosh, like that's so lucky. Like if I had that, then I would be like freaking double black diamond. Like, yeah, that might be true, but at the same time, like I think I have to have even more self-discipline not having to do anything, because then like I could literally take all day to do something that would take me 30 minutes. If you give yourself 5 minutes to do something, you're going to get it done. If you give yourself 5 hours, that same task will take you 5 hours. And so for people who don't have as much to do, we also don't see as many people. So it's harder for us to get around people who make those connections, but it's also, we have to make sure that we're getting things done so that we're not glued to our phones all day. So the other thing is I used to just go to bed whenever I wanted, woke up whenever I wanted, and just kind of like cruise through my day. And I was stressed out all the time. I was anxious all the time. I felt like I had to be on my phone all day. And what changed for me was reading the book called Miracle Morning. And it's by, crap, I forgot his name. But it's called Miracle Morning, and Hal Elrod. It's really good. And that book changed like my life basically. And I read it this summer. And so for probably 6 or 7 months now, I've created a schedule for myself. And again, I don't need a schedule, but I need a schedule. And so I've started making myself go to bed at midnight. I'm definitely a night owl, not an early bird. So make myself go to bed around midnight before I go to bed. Okay, because it starts like your next day starts tonight. Like your Monday starts Sunday night. And what you do Sunday night has direct implications on what your Monday is going to be like, right? So Sunday nights, I write down everything in my planner that I have to do for the next day, whether it's like, life stuff, probably, kids soccer games for y'all or whatever it is. And then like also my at work stuff. So going and doing follow-ups and posting and messaging my polls from yesterday, checking in with my leaders, checking in with my team. I have all of those things all written down in my planner, and I do that the night before, so that if I have a busy day tomorrow, I can plan my life around that so that it doesn't run me and I run it. So set up your stuff the night before, okay? Then I go to bed, but I put my phone up around 10:30-ish. And this might change for you, obviously, because if you have kids or whatever. But I put my phone up around 10:30. So for an hour and a half, I'm not on my phone. And people can wait. Like, if you have potentials, they can wait. I promise. If they want to order the just celery, they'll want to order it tomorrow, too. Like, it's going to be fine. And you want to get back to them as fast as you can. But you've got to have that balance. And you have to have your boundaries, or else you're going to burn yourself out. So I put my phone up around 10:30. And I just like rest. I'll get some stuff done around the house. I'll just chill. I'll watch a show, whatever it is. And then for like 30 minutes before bed, before midnight, I go and wash my face. I do all of this stuff. And then I like read a little bit in my book, and then I go to bed. So I'm not on my phone like right before bed, which is so important because that actually hinders how well you sleep. So if you feel like you're exhausted all the time, ask yourself if you're like reading your phone, getting on your phone, doing all this stuff, and then going right to bed. That's why. And that's changed my life too, because if you don't have good sleep at night, you're not going to want to wake up and do what I'm about to say for the start of the day, right? Like if you wake up groggy every day, you're not going to want to wake up early. So start your next day tonight. And so in the morning, I'll always wake up between 7 and 7:30, depending on if I have to wash my hair. And that's like super girly of me, but that's what I do. And so if I have to wash my hair, I wake up at 7. So I literally wake up and this is from Miracle Morning. I wake up, I immediately drink some of my water bottle that I keep by my bed. I get up and I immediately walk all the way into the bathroom and I go brush my teeth. And I set my phone, like my alarm across the room, because otherwise I'll snooze it and I'll forget. So set it across the room. I go and I get up and I wake up early. I get dressed because even though I don't have anywhere to go, it is so important. Like I didn't go anywhere today. I went to Dollar Tree. Like it's important for me to get ready because I need to have that sense of like ownership, like that, like I am a CEO showing up to my company today versus like, yo, I work from my phone on my couch in my pajamas. You see, like there's like a different, like you have like a different like way about you. I don't know what word I'm trying to think of, but like You show up differently. And so I get ready and I might put sweats on, but I get ready and I make my celery, I do all these things and I get on my phone and like that's like when I do that. So it's like not the very first thing that I do in the morning. I don't check my phone. And I used to do that, and that would always like change my mood. If I woke up in a really great mood, it would change my mood if I saw a bad text or vice versa, like it would make my day better. But I didn't want my phone to be the rudder of my day. I wanted to choose how I got to spend my day. So I didn't look at my phone first thing. So while I get ready, by the way, I listen to an Audible book. So like I listen to self-development immediately first thing in the morning. And so that's super easy to get in because it doesn't take any extra time. And then I go and make my celery and my coffee, whatever. And then I listen to a sermon, which is super important to me, or like I'll spend time in the word. Like that's super important for me to get my spiritual self together. And then I do affirmations. And about that time, it's like 9 o'clock. And that's when my team does our power hours. So I don't lead all of them, but I get on all the morning ones. And so at 9 a.m., I do a power hour. And those are huge, guys. If you don't have power hour set up for your team, make your own. And you can invite people to it if you want, or you can just do it by yourself without a Zoom and just get on a do a power hour and sit down. And for an hour, you don't have the TV on. You don't really even have music playing. Like sometimes I turn the music off. I'd literally just work, or you can do whatever, but don't watch TV while you do it. You'll get distracted. Set an hour aside where you go ham. Like you are all in 100% in this business, and that's all that you're focused on. I promise you will knock out every single task that you have to do that day in that hour or less. And every minute that I have left over is for me to message, because that's the last thing that I'll do in my power hours is messaging. No, they're not, but I can send you the ID of them.
You're so sweet. You're so sweet. Yes, dude. And there's something so, like, even for me, I know that I have 2 kids, and yes, I do have somewhere to go. Like, I do have to take Eric to school every day. But before he even started school, it was so important to me to make sure that I was getting up. I literally, every single morning, I get up, I brush my teeth, I put on deodorant, I wash my face, I take care of me, I do my hair. It takes me like 10, 15 minutes to do all of that, but I feel so put together. And I feel like I started my day off right, and then I grab my coffee, I take Eric to school, and I feel like I can conquer all of the things. And especially when I get home and I get into my Bible, or listen to a sermon or listen to a quick podcast, like there is something so amazing about taking care of yourself first. We don't think it's important until you get to the gym and you actually like work out for that hour that you said you were going to. And there's something so amazing about taking care of you. You feel like you can do anything. And I don't know why, but it's the truth. And I've done it, to myself. And I'll notice a huge difference in if I'm not, like, for instance, if Eric goes on winter break, like when he's on Christmas break, I don't have such a set schedule. And I will notice that if I'm not waking up at a certain point, like still early in the morning and doing those things and having my coffee, if I'm just eating like crap, if I'm not working out as much, I will see it affect my business, my mood, my everything. So I'm very, very intentional with that. And yes, I love that word, intentional. So yes, it's just being intentional. I cannot watch TV while I'm doing a power hour. Absolutely not. Either I'm not paying attention to my show, so it's a waste, or I'm not paying attention to my business, and that's a huge waste, even bigger. So those were so good. I hope y'all are listening. Okay, so can you end us, since it is 9:41, I think the best note we could end on is why people, and I love that this is recorded because not everyone, like even some of my leaders couldn't be on tonight, but can you tell us why it's so important that we get to conference and how much it can change your business? Like, I'm so excited for next month to head into conference because this is my 5th one and it's life changing every time because it's different every time, different leaders, different people, different vibe. I mean, It Works has changed so much in my 6 years. So can you just tell us how, like, just get to conference and then why? That would be awesome.
Yeah, so I love this topic actually because I didn't go to conference my first couple of years in the business. Like my second color is blue, but my enroller and leaders colors are like yellow and green. So none of them told me about conference. So they were just like, oh yeah, like you can come, but like it's fine. Like they just like didn't really push for it very hard. And I was like, oh, okay, like this is totally optional. It's not. They make it seem like it's optional. That's not. You have to go. Like, you literally need to go. So I went to my first conference in 2016. Hang on. 2017. So 2017, I went to my first conference. And so I joined in 2014. So my first conference would have been 2015, but I didn't go. And I was a Ruby that whole entire year. Then I could have gone 2016, but I didn't. And I happened to promote to Diamond because I went to an event before that because there was a cruise to Mexico. And I went on the cruise to Mexico, ready to quit, left with this fire because it was the first like corporate event that I'd ever gone to, even though it wasn't a training. Like, that fired me up. So get to those events too. Try, like, I know Margaritaville, like, it's over, but like hopefully y'all work towards that too because it's crazy. So I did go Diamond, but I sat there for a whole entire year. Then the turning point, I went to my first conference 2017. And hang on, let me grab this really quick. So these are my badges from conference. Okay. That was my first conference badge. 2017. Diamond. So crazy. Okay. So that was my first conference. And I was Diamond, barely maintaining, super, like, did not have the money to get to conference. And I stayed in a room with 11 other girls, and we literally had air mattresses all over the floor. Like, it was just an absolute disaster. Worst time of my life, like the room part. And I had 2 girls with me. And so whenever we went to it was like Saturday, I think, and one girl was sitting on either side of me. And I love telling this story because most people that I do this, like these types of Zooms with, weren't in the business in 2017. And maybe some of you were, but I guess put a 1 in the chat if you were in here in 2017, like February 2017. That was when we had conference. Okay, so like nobody's put a 1 yet. So maybe nobody was in here then. So, okay, just a couple. Yeah, Kim. So it's crazy. Like, so you see me now, and you see my team, and you see my leaders, and you see like whatever, and you see presidential, you see top income earner, but you didn't see Diamond Morgan at conference in a room with 11 people because she couldn't afford to be there and couldn't hardly buy food for herself and put that on a credit card, and had 2 girls with her, and that was it. Like, y'all don't see that side. So I want to bring you back to where I was back then. And so there was 2 girls. Okay, we were sitting on the like 3rd level, so that's like so high up in the Emily Arena. They did a top 100 walk. Okay, remember, I'm a Diamond, barely maintaining, $2,000 a month, and I'm sitting there and I see this top 100 walk, and I was like, I want to do that. Like, I want to be there. And my girls were like, like a weirdo. And I wrote on my goals that I wanted to be. And I found this somewhere, I don't remember where it was, but I found that I wrote down my goal was to be in the top 100 walk at conference 2020, the one we're about to have. And so that was my goal. And then I wrote that I wanted to be, and I told them too, like while I was sitting there, so you can ask the girls that were there, I told them, I said, I want to sit on that couch one day. Like, I want to sit on that white couch on stage. And they were like, like whatever. So then we leave, and I'm like on fire. I'm like so freaking excited. And I promote to double. I get my boyfriend at the time, now husband's, account to Diamond. We earned a ton of bonuses. Then 2 months later, I went from double to triple, and then his account went to double. And so we literally, in like this, between conference and the end of May, we had hit $105,000 in bonuses. We went from a $2,000 paycheck to a $20,000 paycheck after my first conference, guys. Like, this is insane. Like, I had never had that growth before. I sat at ranks for years, or a year, every single time. And then I went to conference and everything changed. Then, so that was in May. Then July, able to do that. Like, what would I do that would be worthy of that? And I was like, what? And then I've been able to speak on the white couch at every like major corporate event since then. Like, I've been so honored to be able to do that. And that was the first time that I like claimed that, was in 2017 at conference as a diamond, sitting at the 3rd level. Then the very next conference, so this was a year later, 12 months. And I said, this is 2017, I said in 3 years, 2020, so the conference hasn't even happened yet, I will be a top income earner. 12 months later, number 149, I walked across the stage on that top income earners like walk, whatever. I was like, dude, like this is so crazy, so crazy. And like, I literally never would have even thought to do that if I hadn't gone to conference. Like, I never would have thought about that because I never even knew they did a walk like that. But I went to conference and I saw it and I had that vision for that. So what did that do? It propelled me to do the things that it took to get to that place. And then like I wanted to be on stage, so I did things that it took to be noticed and recognized, and not just in like a hair flip type of way, but in like a let me help my team and help the most people and do the things that corporate's asking us to do and do the challenges that they have for us so that they can notice me and ask me to speak on stage. And all I did was promote, and that's what it took. And it was on earning bonuses was the first panel I was on. And so I just want you to know, like, if you haven't gotten your conference ticket, it's not too late, number 1. Number 2, you can't afford not to go, because I could have had that excuse too where I couldn't afford to go and I didn't have the money to go, because I genuinely I did not have the money to go. I put half of my trip on a credit card. But I promise you cannot afford to miss what you would see when you get there. And if you've been to a conference, you're shaking your head because you're like, yes, I know that that's true. Like 100% you have to go. And there's a reason why people who go to conference once never miss another one, right? There's a reason for that, because we see the power in it. So if you're not sold on conference yet, I don't know how else to tell you from the bottom of my heart, please get there. Like, please get there for yourself and for your family. And I've had girls on my team say, well, I feel bad leaving my son. I said, he will never remember you leaving him, but he will remember the legacy that you leave for him because you left him for a week or weekend. He will remember that, but he will not remember the time that you're not there. And they're like, well, I can't afford to, take that money for my family. You are doubling that money for your family. You are making an investment in your family's future that will pay you back and then some over and over and over and over for the next 10 years. You're not taking any money from your family, but you are if you don't go. So change your perspective. Change your perspective, change your life. That's my tip.
Oh my goodness. I love that so much, because it is, for a mom, it is hard. When I first went in 20, like you, I could have gone, I joined 2013, could have gone 2014, didn't, because I thought it was just like, oh, okay, cool, you guys go have fun, that's great. And in 2015, I was like, yeah, right, I'm not missing. And it was hard to leave my then 1.5-year-old or whatever he was. I was like, oh my goodness, he's gonna miss me, this is crazy. We couldn't afford it, but exactly, I couldn't afford what we were living like in the moment. So investing in my business was not, I didn't have to think about it. And yes, exactly, my kids know that when I go to Florida, because now they are old enough, they know that when mama's in Florida, it's because that's how we have the life that we get to live. That's why mama gets to stay home with you. They know that. And when they were littler, yeah, they didn't even realize mama was gone. So like, they didn't even know. So yes, you're investing in your family, and that is so, I love how you put that into words. And the legacy that you're leaving behind is so much more important. I love that. So yes, if you haven't gotten your ticket, it's not too late. And I love hearing your story of how you just sat way up top and you were just like, I want to be those people. And it became so, because thoughts lead to action, thoughts lead to feeling, and feelings lead to action. And when you see the things at conference, all of a sudden you believe, like you truly believe that you can be that person. I will never forget hearing, like, who was it? Jaree Caneller's story. I've heard, that was one of the first stories I heard on stage. And I just remember thinking, wow, if that person who is now a top, income earner, if she can be a high school dropout and a super young teen mom, and with all the things that she was, and she's been through physical abuse, and like, if she can be so successful, even though, that's, anyone can do this. And when you hear those stories, you realize that there but I love that. So way to end it with some conference fire because I cannot wait. It's our first year getting a house. So yes, we have a spot for you. We have room for you. And I'm so excited. And thank you so much, you guys, for being on. I'm sorry this was so unusual that I'm not in my house at my table with good lighting and my laptop recording. I'm so sorry. But I'm glad that it could work because this was so good and so needed. So is there anything else you want to end us on, Morgan?
I guess just don't wait until the beginning of the year. So many people are like focused on 2020. Like, I'm so excited for 2020. I'm so excited for a fresh start. You get to have a fresh start right now. Choose today to have a fresh start. Choose tonight to start your day tomorrow right now. Choose to have that fresh start before 2020. Why are you waiting on that? You have the control. Remember, life doesn't happen to you. You get to control your life. And that's why you join this business, is so that you can do that. Don't go back into your old habits of thinking that everything happens to you. It's happening for you. So take control now to get the things done that you want to happen in 2020, because if you start in 2020, you're already behind. Start now and it will start happening for you in 2020. So that's all I want to leave it with.
Yes.
You.
That was gold. Yes, do not wait until 2020. That's such a good tip. Start now. That's so good. Thank you, Morgan. We appreciate you for being on and taking the time. Happy Sunday, you guys. Make sure that you hop on Mark Pentecost Facebook page. And thank you, Crystal, for recording this. We will talk to you guys later. Have such a good night. Bye, Morgan. Bye, guys.